Hey, what's happening, Internet fam? So, it's been a little while since I've done any kind of update on openairships.com, and I just wanted to show you that we are actively and continuously working on it. And it's actually been really exciting. We've got, we're getting closer now to actually building airships than we've ever been so far. And we're looking at a modular component that we're going to be 3D printing and putting together into a actual prototype that we can start experimenting with a physical prototype. So exciting days here at openairships.com. We have a bunch of team members now, quite a few. Now, this is a very early rendering. It's not going to be like this at all, actually. We've already got a much better rendering in the Discord. If you want to hop on there and take a look, this is just the one that I've downloaded recently, and I kind of made Blender look pretty. So, but this is going to be one of the an example of the structural component that we're going to be using to actually build our first few airships. You build 8 of these, you put them together, and then you're going to have a, basically the model of the airship. Although it's probably going to be more narrow on the z-axis as this design shows. And this one also has an additional ballonet, and obviously we're in progress with all of this, but it is exciting, and we do have quite a few more people on the team now. When I started this project last year, it was really just me at first, and then I found a 3D modeler online who wanted to help out, and he's still with the team now. And initially he was kind of a hired gun, but now I think he's kind of more somebody who's actually really on the team. And we've got a couple other team members as well. Another 3D modeler guy, and he also does 3D printing, and he's also really into paragliding and different kinds of flight. So he's a little bit of an aeronaut too, so it's good to have him on the team, somebody who's got a real passion for being in the air. And we've also got a guy that I've been working with a lot more in person, less online, who's a radio specialist. And obviously we're going to need some kind of advanced radio system to make all of these airships communicate with each other and navigate and that sort of thing. And I've been working on a lot of the projects in the background that are going to be required on the software end to make this project fly, pun intended. So we've been making a lot of progress. It's been very exciting. The team's been growing steadily, maybe not exponentially, but steadily and continuously. And I haven't posted any social media or images or video for a while because we haven't had anything really visually compelling. But I have a feeling the next thing you're going to see is actually 3D printed components, and maybe even one of our first 3D printed models. So we are definitely moving forward and making progress. Every day, small steps are being taken across an entire spectrum of different kind of areas, whether it's the software, the 3D modeling, actually building these things, doing some of the material science calculations, all that kind of stuff. Now, we do still need some more team members on the team. If we had an angel investor or venture capitalist come in and throw us $1 million, we would have these built very, very quickly. In addition to that, it would be fantastic if we could find a good material scientist. At this point, as we're nearing the point of being able to actually 3D print modular components and assemble them, there's just so many questions we have that we could really use a material scientist to answer some of those questions. Also an electrical engineer, that's definitely something we're going to need. We're probably going to need more than one electrical engineer, and right now we've got other team members just kind of like winging it and kind of improvising and kind of trying to think logically about what it's going to take electrically. But again, we could really use some more volunteers or team members. Again, if we got a venture capitalist who said, hey, quit your day jobs, let's build these things, all of us could quit our day jobs and probably build one of these within a week, and maybe even have a reasonable flying model within a month. I think that's certainly possible. And right now, we're in the middle of the COVID pandemic shutdown. Well, I hope we're in the middle of it. It's got to end soon. It's been an absolute devastation for the economy in Hawaii. This state relies so much on tourism, and so many people I know work in restaurants and bars, and kind of in the service industry, and almost everybody's out of work. And if this goes on much longer, we're going to be in some real difficult situations. The way that the Federal Reserve decided to just print money in order to solve this horrific problem that we're facing is obviously, if you study economics at all, I think it's very clear that that's just a very bad idea. This is actually a later model here that I don't have the model up to 3D render right now, but and this one's got a lot of the design ideas for actually 3D printing. You can see these are little markers for where the pegs are going to be. We're going to have these components be able to snap together, so you can just build one of these relatively quickly and easily. But back to, we've got this whole COVID thing going on right now, and it's just it's really depressing and really stressful. Most of our civil liberties have just been completely eroded. We're getting bad data from the media. We're getting bad data from our kind of government trusted scientific sources, and people are getting really angry and stressed out, and it's a lot of things are going wrong right now due to this COVID thing. And I do think that if we were able to build airships soon, the sooner the better, we could really kind of technologically make a lot of the problems that we're facing right now as a society obsolete. There's a lot of things that that having this kind of technology built, especially if we can do it for very low cost, which is still the design goal, to make it very low cost so that anybody can have an airship, so that anybody could cheaply and easily fly anywhere in the world. That is the goal of this project. And we're talking about lowering the transportation cost of goods and services and food down to massively lower than they are right now. We're talking about making housing a lot cheaper. If we can 3D print these and build these and people can live in them, it's going to make housing a lot less desirable. Why would you live in a house if you could just be floating from Germany to Brazil to China on a whim, wherever the mangoes are fresh, you can fly there, or whatever, whatever's in season in whatever region you wanted to visit. This technology, if we develop it, can really liberate everybody on the planet. We're talking about replacing the economic system. We're talking about replacing what it means to be a citizen of any country or the world. If you have a floating house, are you really a US citizen anymore? Are you really a Chinese citizen anymore? Or are you truly free and autonomous and can fly anywhere in the world anytime you want? And think about how different this whole quarantine situation would be. I mean, what if there was a terrible epidemic that broke out that was really dangerous? We're starting to get numbers on this COVID thing. It doesn't seem like it's as dangerous as it was being played up to be initially. Hopefully, that seems to be the case. But imagine if it was like a really dangerous disease, the 12 Monkeys scenario. If you've seen the movie 12 Monkeys with Bruce Willis and Brad Pitt. What if it was that kind of disease that was breaking out? How much more less stressful would you be? How much less stressful would the situation be if you knew you could just float away and float somewhere and go fishing and not have any contact with anybody until you knew the danger was past, or there was some kind of a medical procedure that would make you immune, etc. We're not there. We're not there right now. And a big part of the problem is that technologically we're relying on these things that we've had for hundreds of years. We're still relying on government fiat currency. We're still relying on government education, and the government builds freeways and does a lot to control the transportation of the people. And we're talking about decentralizing all of that and making a society that is really and truly and honestly free. Our logo or our slogan is, we want to free your family from gravity and government, and that is not a joke. We literally want to do that, physically, literally want to do that, so that anybody at any time could fly anywhere on the planet for very low cost. Practically approaching zero, especially if we get to the point where we're mass producing these. Yeah, it's just, we've been making a lot of strides as a team. And if we did have an angel investor or a venture capitalist or some kind of, somebody helping us buy the supplies and real estate and whatever we need to actually build these, we would have them built very quickly. The technology, there's no new technology that we need to develop for this. There's going to be a few things that we're going to have to do on the software side, on the engineering side, as far as the radio and mesh network goes, that maybe are going to be new, but they don't require any new physics or new chemistry or any kind of scientific development that's just theoretical. All of this can be built with off-the-shelf components, and I believe that we could get the price to dramatically drop over time, to the point where it's not even going to be a debate anymore. It's just going to be one of those situations where, of course, we're all going to live in a very different way because the technology has just advanced. 15 years ago, nobody imagined a world where everybody was on their smartphone every day, but that's the world we're in now. And I think 15 years from now, maybe even 15 months, or I don't know, that's probably very optimistic, but maybe 2 or 3 years from now, we could live in a society where nobody could imagine not being able to fly anywhere in the world instantly and very, very cheaply. I mean, we want to make the cost of travel, housing, fresh water, and electricity, we want to make all of those approach zero. That's the goal with this project. And it's a lofty goal, but there's no theoretical reason why we can't do it. It's certainly theoretically possible, and I don't even think it's going to be very difficult. It's just a matter of, honestly, we're already on the path. I think it's inevitable if we just continue working on this, continue releasing the designs and into the open source, and continue growing the team. I mean, we've got, like I said, the team has grown quite a bit. We've got a couple of 3D modelers, a guy working on 3D printing. We've got another guy who's willing to help out with IT related stuff. We also have, like I said, we have a radio guy that we've been working with. I've even been getting some advice and suggestions from people online regarding material science and stuff like that. So this is a project that is actively in progress now. A year ago, the website wasn't up. 6 months ago, it was just a website. 3 months ago, it was just a pretty digital model. Now we're actually working on structural components and things that are going to be able to be 3D printed. So we are getting closer and closer on this project every single day. If you are interested in helping out in any way, there's so many different things that we could really use if you just want to volunteer some time, especially right now with this COVID shutdown. So many people are unemployed and out of work. Think about trying to make reality better for everybody in the future, for your own children, for yourselves, for everyone, because that is what we are working on here. And I would love to get some more criticism on the white paper. I haven't really got as much criticism as I think I need on the white paper to make it really a truly compelling item. But it's one way or the other. We're going to be working on this and making it happen. So we are definitely farther along than we've ever been. And I don't want to say that our progress has been going exponential. I really don't think it's been more of like a flat curve, but it has been going up. We've been making more progress all the time. And I'm sorry I haven't posted more on social media or done more videos about it. But the reality is most of what we've been doing hasn't been really exciting from a visual presentation aspect. So anyway, openairships.com, definitely making progress. Every day we're making a little bit of progress and moving forward. So if you want to get involved, please reach out to us on Discord, jump in and help us out. And we are very much excited about freeing your family and families and individuals from gravity and government. if you have a floating house that has a bathroom and a kitchen and a nice bed in it, and it's able to collect water and desalinate that water, and use also split that water into hydrogen and oxygen, so you have an actual fuel source, and also a source for lifting gas, and also solar panels that on the whole top of this thing is going to be covered in solar panels, so so that you have basically free electricity as well. This is a way forward for our species. It's just so much better than what seems to be the globalist agenda for control and lockdown and surveillance. We would just be so much better off if we were like, no, we can fly anywhere we want in the world at any time. And I think having this technology would really force governments to compete for our patronage. So if there was some kind of crazy fascist surveillance state, most people wouldn't fly there. And as a result, those crazy fascist surveillance states would lose all economic incentive for being how they were. And so we could really, really kind of end fascism, end surveillance, end all the horrible and horrific things that we've seen come to pass in the last in the last 100 years, and kind of be growing exponentially too. They've been growing exponentially the whole time, and it's really just too bad. But if you want to make the future a better place to live and a better place for your children, come join us, help us on the team. Come help us build. We're actually ready to start building these now. So the more people are building prototypes, the more people are discovering flaws in the design, the more people are finding out, hey, this doesn't work, that doesn't work, the better it's going to be for all of us. So now's the time to get your hands dirty and actually come help. None of this is super complicated stuff. Everything that we're building is using science and technology that's existed for a long time. Probably the most modern thing we're doing is on the software stack. We're going to have blockchain be a big part of this project, and mesh networking and stuff like that. But again, mesh networking's been around for decades now. The blockchain's been around for more than a decade already. So and most of these other technologies have been around for a century or more. There were a lot of airships were very, very successful 100 years ago. They were supplanted by the plane for a lot of reasons, but I think that moving forward, airships are going to be a much safer, more comfortable and luxurious way to travel for people, and that's what we're working on. So yeah, come help us build this future together, and let's work on making the future a better place that we all want to live, rather than fret about how horrible the situation is right now. Because if we can't hope, and if we can't plan, and if we can't actively work on making the future a better place, then then we're already lost. So, and this is coming. This liberation of humanity is coming. I feel in a lot of ways it's inevitable with open source technology and things that are happening with FarmBot and with open airships and with the cryptocurrency revolution. I think a lot of this freedom and liberty and kind of the improvement of human life is coming inevitably, but it could come a lot faster if we had a bigger team with more people helping us out, more people contributing money, time, energy, even just criticism. If you could just go to the website and read the white paper on the plan page here and say, hey, there's problems here. Clarify. The wording is bad. Anything, any kind of, even just like kind of looking at the website and helping us with grammar or whatever would be a huge benefit to the project. So you don't have to be an aeronautical engineer to help us. We need all kinds of help. So please come over to the contact page on openairships.com and jump on the Discord is the best way, or email us, just anything. Get involved, and let's make this a future that we all want to live in, and something a lot better than the kind of dystopia that we're in right now during this COVID lockdown. All right, thanks Internet fam, and I'll try and update more frequently.